Producer Joe here from the Working Fans Podcast. And at the Working Fans Podcast, this is just a podcast that three lifelong fans created to have a place to talk comedy and pro wrestling. Now, our comedy podcast releases every Tuesday, while our wrestling podcast releases every Thursday. We release bonus episodes under the moniker Working Fans Presents every now and then. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, any major podcast provider. The important thing is just please like, rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen to us. Now, we have started a new thing. We are now on Amazon and Audible. So those episodes release every Monday. And that's kind of going through the archives and just releasing our old episodes into new areas. So if you want to live through the process with us again, take that journey with us again, you can find us over on Amazon and Audible. Now, if you can't get enough of us in the audio form, check out our YouTube. It's youtube.com/C/Working Fans Wrestling Pod, or just search Working Fans Podcast on YouTube. We have the whole archive is up there. And if you listen to the Working Fans Podcast, you are more than familiar with the 531. That is our signature segment where we take your top 5 list on a particular subject, vote it down to a top 3, and then debate it down to a top 1. Now, guys, if you want to hear 3 guys talk shit about comedy, wrestling, life, anything, you will enjoy the Working Fans Podcast. Fans, welcome back for Working Fans Comedycast, episode 34. This week, we are talking top Eddie Murphy movies. Now, next week, on October 12th, we will be talking 531 comedic cameos in movies. October 19th, we'll be doing a 531 on Leslie Nielsen movies. And on October 26th, we are doing a 531 on hilariously bad horror movies. Now, after the intro, I'm going to bring Dave in and we're going to talk Eddie Murphy movies. Dave, the Comedycast is back. How are you doing today?
The boys are back in town. Yeah. That's a little bit from 48 Hours. There was a band that was singing, Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, which is going to be our subject today. I'm doing great, baby, because the boys are back in town. I'm fired up. Eddie Murphy is one of my favorite comedic actors. I can't believe I haven't done this list already. I know some people are a little young. Some of our fans to get to us, and they got to me like, I don't know, I'm not the biggest Eddie Murphy fan, but here's some lists. And we're like, Dr. Dolittle and Shrek, that's cool, but no, I'm gonna have a little.
Won't
bit
you
more,
smite the good name of Chuck Winchester, who said he never got into Eddie Murphy, but he liked Shrek?
I'm not gonna get started on that.
I'll give you my list to kick it off because I got the Nutty Professor,
yeah,
Raw, Delirious.
okay,
Nutty Professor 2, and I Spy.
all right. I'm gonna go right into Pat Oates before I comment on this because you did the same thing he did, and I want to talk about it. So let me get to Pat first, and then we'll talk. All right, Pat got Boomerang, pretty good movie. I hadn't seen a lot of people on this list. I forgot about it. Bowfinger, which I feel almost like the way people threw this one in here is the people. This might be a cult classic. Like a few people really love this movie. He's got Harlem Nights, which is a cult classic. I'll get to that later. Raw and Delirious. Okay. Love Pat. I threw this list at him real quick, and he might be right and you might be right. But when I threw this out for movies, I looked at those as more stand-up specials. And my buddy Rob, he gave me some stuff too. And I know, because I didn't ask Rob, he didn't think of those. Now, that being said, I just want to point this out. If we're going to include them, and it's okay, I mean, whatever, the list is already out. Those are 1 and 2 in my book. Like, it don't get no better than Raw and Delirious.
I do hate to tell you that they are movies because in the
They're-
80s, big stand up specials didn't necessarily get the release they did now. Like Bill Cosby had himself, which that came out as a film. And at the time, it was like a stand up concert film. Like, think Kings of Comedy,
Yeah. Okay.
same type thing. Like,
I get it. That makes sense. And I know it's on the IMDb pages, but there's a lot of shit on the IMDb. Like SmackDown is, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I was a little question of that, but all right, if that's it, I mean, it's whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I would have told, because to me, my favorite shit of all time is like Raw and Delirious. Goody goo goo. Goody goo goo, motherfucker. Joe, that girl you brought around was a Bigfoot. All right, baby. You know the one I'm talking about, the halfway. She's a Bigfoot. She's a hairy bitch, Bigfoot.
Oh man, like there's so much good in those. I had to include them just because of the film aspect of it from the 80s. And I was kind of struggling to put together a list. I mean, I might have put Dr. Dolittle. I've watched the old 80s movies, but I don't remember them enough that I feel like I could represent them on a top 5 list. Who do you got?
Well, I'm going to go with Chevy next. He's got I Spy, which is a movie with him and Owen Wilson. Little off my radar. He's got Life, a movie with Martin Lawrence. I can't recommend that enough. That is some good shit. Martin Lawrence, there's a scene in it where he just loves his watch, and his daddy gave him his watch. And that's Eddie Murphy. He's always proud about his watch. And Martin Lawrence, at some point, he's trying to tell him that watch ain't worth that much money. Eddie's like, "You ain't shit." Basically, cussing him out. And then Eddie's fooling around with some hooker somewhere, and the watch got stolen. And he's like, he's like, some bitch took my watch. He's like, I'm gonna whoop her ass. And he's like, forget about your daddy's watch. And he's like, you can't even say watch to me no more. Don't even make it look like your moves are. You say that, I'm whooping your ass. You ain't gonna have no teeth no more. It's Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy's chemistry is so off the page here. It's so good. They end up being like old men. They film it as their old men later in the episode, and they're just awesome together. But anyway, back to Chevy's list. He's got Beverly Hills Cop 1, also a great movie. Axel Foley, Golden Child. It's just some movie I remember fondly in the 80s. I don't know how good it was, but I just remember it was like this old, wise monk man, and like he would like pick his nose and burp. And I just remember Eddie Murphy saying, I know you're a wise. And he's like, disgusting motherfucker. He's like, you're just going to wipe that on your robe, huh, that booger? And Trading Places. I don't know if people are going to get this humor as much as I am, because like you have to kind of watch the movies, but man, I love this shit. Trading Places also with Dan Aykroyd. I mean, the idea that 2 friggin' stockbrokers just destroyed this man's life over a $1 bet. They destroyed Dan Aykroyd. Like, hey, let's see if we can get this guy who is, on the streets and make him a success. I bet we can do it. And they did the bet for $1. I mean, it's a great premise. It's a great movie. I recommend people see Trading Places all day.
Nice. Now I'm going to bring you a list from former guest Dame FK. He's got Boomerang, Trading Places, Vampire in Brooklyn, Harlem Nights.
Yes.
And he asked if he could put Dreamgirls number 5. Okay. If not, Coming to America. So I gave Dreamgirls the number 5 and Jake.
Vampire in Brooklyn. I'll tell you about this movie. I didn't even watch this one. I don't know if it was one of the better ones, but Dave remembers it. That's fine. But this is what I remember. Before I go to school, it's early in the morning. High school, junior high school. I don't remember. Sitting around, and who's the guy that passed away that was in those Friday movies? The dad, Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon.
He's in this, right? And he's in the beginning. And me and my dad are watching this. And I don't know if my dad's really paying attention. I'm kind of watching it. And like Witherspoon's like going in this abandoned ship, right? So it's going to be a comedy, but they're playing almost like the horror aspect. And he's like looking around and he's like pretending like he's a pirate or something. Like right in the beginning. No explanation. So it's just John Witherspoon being himself. He's like, ahoy! And he's looking around and he's like, ahoy! And then John Witherspoon again, he's like, ahoy, motherfucker! And like my dad just laughs. It was like this well-timed motherfucker, and it's John Witherspoon. And if you just know John Witherspoon, he's a funny, funny man. And that's all I know about that movie. I never got to see the rest of it. I had to go to school. So I'm glad Dave liked it.
I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm going to look it up tonight.
John Witherspoon. Tell me if I got it right or if I have some weird childhood dream.
I'm actually watching a bunch of horror movies because later in the month, we're doing on October 26th, hilariously bad horror movies, which I'm going to also throw in like comedy horror movies in that because I almost feel like it's one and the same. Yeah. But I'm going to be watching serious horror movies, and I feel like Vampire in Brooklyn could make the hilariously bad one.
It could, and we're going to also do a special on horror movies at some point, folks, too. That'll be later in the month. That's my plan.
Oh, yeah, we're coming ready.
Now, Chevy brought some friends this week. All right, we got Kevin and Kyle. We'll do Kevin first. Kevin's got Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek 3, Shrek 4, Dr. Dolittle, and Chevy said yes. He's serious. Now, on that note, I didn't really see Dr. Dolittle. I like the Shrek movies. I don't think I really saw, I don't know, the last one where he had to rescue her and he was like an actual person for a little while instead of an ogre. It kind of started to lose me a little bit after that. So, but
believe it or not, never seen a Shrek movie.
Never. Okay, I would say the first one and maybe the second one are pretty good. Worth checking out. You probably get a kick out of it. There's like a beginning. I remember like when they first, I forget, somebody was using magic or something, and they're like, you never seen a talking donkey? I'm a talking donkey. You know, this whole thing, and then he starts like getting floated in the air, like in the Jedi. You know, like remember when Luke Skywalker did the C-3PO? You know, the creep out the Ewoks. Yeah, so he's like flying around. He's like, I'm a flying talking donkey. And it's just like this kind of hilarious looking thing. You have to see it, but I don't know. I like the first one and the second one. I would say those are worth checking out. After that, maybe not. But it's been years, Joe. Don't quote me. Now, we got Kyle, but go ahead, man. Go ahead. You're next. I'm fired up.
No, give us Kyle.
Kyle. Motherfucking Kyle here. Kyle's got Kyle. Never mind. We got Mulan. I Spy, Daddy Daycare, Shrek, and Shrek 2. So what we learned here is Chevy's friends are big Shrek fans, it turns out.
I Spy, I don't think gets enough credit. I saw that in theaters when it came out, and I just like the way Eddie Murphy kind of got into that role. Who knew years later, like, God, if that never happened, we would have had to fucking take, what's his name, old Bill Cosby out of the old I Spy. Thank God he replaced him.
Owen Wilson is the other guy in that too, right?
Yes, he is. That was a great movie. Now, next up, I got Sean McIver from the Mothership Facebook group on Facebook. He's got Raw, Beverly Hills Cop 1, Coming to America, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Very good, very good. I remember, I don't know if it's Beverly Hills Cop 1 or 2. So there's Judge Reinhold is in this, and he was like this tall, goofy-looking guy who was in a lot of 80s comedies. He was like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And then there's the other heavy-set cop that's in this movie. And I just remember they're going to a strip club, and like they're trying to get a table, and Eddie Murphy's like, "What do you mean we can't get a table?" He's like, this guy's just like. He goes, this is President Gerald Ford. He has the right to be here just like everybody else. He wants to shake his ass and see some fine-looking women just like everybody else. Now get us a seat. And it's just like, and even a better story. Joe, when we get this, I'm not going to give the person's name. There's a famous scene. It's in the first one, I believe, where he sticks a banana like in the tailpipe. All right? Now, there's this girl I know. Very sweet, very innocent, very honest. And we knew each other many, many years ago. And she did not like this woman who used to harass her at this place we worked at. And this woman a lot of people did not like this woman. She was very tough. So this very sweet, innocent girl goes up to me and she's like, I want to get this lady, I want to like just get her back. I don't like her. She's mean to everybody, but I don't want to be anything too bad. She's like, I want to do something maybe to her car, but nothing too bad. And I thought banana in a tailpipe was so ridiculous. And I was like, could put a banana in her tailpipe. Kind of threw it offhand, you know. And She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if it really works, but supposing we'll maybe blow out a tailpipe or something, stop your car, blah blah blah. I was like, and then like reality is, I don't think it does anything. No, this makes no
Not
sense.
back up the CO2 into the vents of the car and possibly kill her over time as she's driving.
So anyway, one day this girl, I forgot about it. I said it off here. I didn't think nothing of it. One girl, this very innocent girl who says, nothing wrong ever. I said, hey, how's it going? It's like a Tuesday or something. She's like, it's okay. I can't wait for Thursday. And I was like, what's Thursday? And she looks at me and she says it almost like in a zombie-like voice. She goes, Banana Day. She shoved the banana up the bitch's tailpipe. And when I went back to work the next day, apparently the car just started making noise. And, they pulled over. And she's like, they're telling me. And they're like, you ain't going to believe what I found in my car. And I'm like, I lost it already. I couldn't hold it together. But I had to play it off. So I'm like, what? I'm like, this sounds crazy. I'm like, I'm sorry. Someone just tell me jokes. She's like, telling me somebody put a banana in my tailpipe. And I immediately started lost it. I'm like, a banana in the tailpipe? How ridiculous. And I'm thinking like, that was my idea, bitch. I didn't know she was going to do it, but it's pretty hilarious. So that's what I think of whenever I think of Beverly Hills Cop. Banana in tailpipe.
Man, long story short, Dave's throwing a banana in that girl's tailpipe. Now, next up, I got a list from Courtney West from the Mothership Facebook group.
That halfway house is a Bigfoot. Anyway.
They've got Coming to America, 48 Hours, The Nutty Professor, Golden Child, and Boomerang.
Boomerang, baby. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Boomerang. That's the fuck out of this segment. I'm just going to go to Rob's list real quick because he only had a couple. I hit him yesterday, and I only gave him a day's notice. And I said, Rob, we're going to close this thing up short. He goes, I forgot. I'm sorry, blah, blah. And he said, Bowfinger and Trading Places. And I said, that's funny. And I told him what somebody else had to say about Bowfinger. We haven't got to that person's list yet, but I will. And he said, I could watch that movie all day. Which is funny because I remember seeing Bowfinger in the theater with Rob, and I remember him laughing his ass off at it. And I know Steve Martin's in the film as well, but I don't remember much about the film, and I don't remember being overly crazy about it. But apparently, a few people love that movie, and I might have to go check that one out again.
I will tell you who's crazy about it. Cobby Rollman from the Mothership Facebook group. They've got 48 Hours, yes. Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, Trading Places, and Bowfinger.
Bowfinger. Fucking A, man. 48 Hours is good, too. They get away with a lot of racial shit you probably couldn't get away with nowadays. But I remember watching just the chemistry of Murphy and Nolte and just little funny things they would do. And, of course, it's very famous for, I think, Eddie Murphy in that prison scene when Nolte's going to get him. And he's, singing, Roxanne, you don't have to put on a red light. And Murphy, Nolte's just trying to get his attention, have it. And he ends up it's loud in his ear. He's like, "Are you crazy, motherfucker? You could go deaf." And they end up going in the bar later in that film too. It's another great scene too, where Murphy's like, if I had a gun and a badge, I could do what you do. And Nolte's like, "Oh yeah, there you go." And so he took the badge and the gun, and he got. Some guy told him, he's like, "I'm looking for answers." And he's like, "You get me a drink?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you a Black Russian." And then Murphy, of course, a Black Russian. And then he just fucking throws the fucking glass, ends up breaking a bunch of glass bottles in the bar and shot somebody in the leg. Trust me, it's hilarious. Check it out. All right. Jesse from New Hampshire. He's got Coming to America, Dr. Dolittle, The Nutty Professor, Shrek, and God bless his soul, he's probably the only one who has this fucking film on there, but I kind of liked it too. Norbit. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of Norbits.
No, it's not going to be. I actually read this earlier. Pete. We were having breakfast today. My boy was looking up Eddie Murphy movies because he's young. And he's like, "Oh, Norbit. We forgot about Norbit." I'm like, I didn't forget about fucking Norbit. And he was dressed up as this heavyset black lady. And she's singing, "Don't you wish your girl was hot like me?" Sorry, Joe. Anyway.
Next up, I got Richard Alfonso from the Mothership Facebook group. He's got
bitch.
Trading Places, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Raw, and he had Best Defense with crying face emojis. I didn't know what Best Defense was. It looks like it was Eddie Murphy's second movie.
Oh, no shit. Wow. Now that is some old school shit. I'd be interested in seeing that. I'm sure it's not that great, but it probably might be hilariously bad. All right, Mike Cadwell from the Mikey and Fred Facebook page, wrestling guy. He sends us a list here. He's got Coming to America, Daddy Daycare, Beverly Hills Cop, Nutty Professor, and Trading Places. All right, Coming to America, because I've had stories about everything. One of my favorite lines in that movie, and I told Joe this recently, is a very random scene where they're going, for those who don't know, it's like Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy are coming to America to basically find his queen. And they don't want everybody to know that he's this rich prince from Africa. And he's basically trying to live modest so no one will understand it. Like he's got all this money. So they find this crappy place in Queens, New York, and the apartment. And as they're going there, this guy comes falling down the stairs and he hits every steps. And the slumlord just yells at him, "Yo, Stu, your rent's due, motherfucker. And don't be pulling that falling down the stairs shit again, neither. You conscious." I do that to my cat. I don't know why. He just starts sleeping. And I just yell at him. Sometimes he tries to claw at me. I don't know.
Now, breaking news. I just got a list from the Mothership Facebook group from Robert Hembry. He's got Coming to America, Harlem Nights, 48 Hours, Delirious, and Norbit.
Love him. Love that. I think there's like they're serving up the turkey in that movie too. And you can have like the leg and then they had like the turkey's ass. It's like this scene that had a pair of butt cheeks. And also he plays this racist Asian guy named Wong. And he found Norbit on his like doorsteps. And he's telling Eddie Murphy, he's like, yes, trouble very fast. Something like that. And he's like, but black men faster. And Eddie Murphy's like, that's racist. And Wong is like, yes, Wong is very racist. Like he gets the baby on his doorsteps and he just literally looks at him and he goes, "Oh, ugly black one, you can't give these away." It's so bad.
And Eddie Murphy plays a lot of those characters. He's so good for being able to morph into different characters. I believe he played the old Jewish guy in one of his movies that I can't fucking remember right now.
It's Coming to America. It's Coming to America, which is another great scene where they're fighting. They're talking about boxers. I was literally just talking about you in this, where they're all talking to sitting at the barbershop and somebody's
This is the segment where we get Dave to say all the racist shit. Just like, no, I'm quoting movies. Fine.
I'm quoting like Muhammad Ali, and they're talking about, like, who's that guy today everybody loves? Like Mike Tyson, look like a bulldog, and they talk about, and then they go, Joe Frazier was the greatest, blah, blah, Joe Louis was the best, blah, blah. And so the old white Jewish guy goes, what about Rocky Marciano? And everybody's like, Marciano ain't shit. And then he goes, he beat Joe Louis's ass. And the other guy in the barbershop, I think it's Arsenio, was like, that's true, he did whoop Joe Louis's ass. And everybody, one barber's like, bullshit, Joe Louis was 100 years old when that happened. I know for a fact. I talked to Dr. Luther King, and Dr. Martin Luther King told me Joe Louis was 104. And I'm like, you don't know no doctor. All right. So that's that scene. It's awesome. Check it out.
I'm going to move on at a little bit of a pace because we got a lot of lists. So I got James Castillo from the Mothership Facebook group. He's got Beverly Hills Cop 1, Coming to America, Delirious, Shrek, and Mulan.
Mulan. Yeah. That's great. Another great movie, animated series.
Ryan Bendick from the Mothership Facebook group had Radio, Raw, Daddy Daycare, and Life.
He was in Radio?
Apparently.
That's the one with Cuba Gooding Jr., right?
Yeah.
He's like, he's retarded. Yeah, that's too bad.
I'm wearing, dude.
Stress some knees. We're going to go off the rails quick. What's up?
Oh, I think we went off the rails, brought it back, and then we're like, fuck it, let's go off-roading again for a minute.
Your girl's a Bigfoot. Anyway. I got Randy Miller, who's got Dreamgirls, Trading Places, Dolomite Is My Name. Great movie on Netflix. Very funny, but just really a great movie. Talks about becoming the character. Like, it's basically the story behind the guy who invented Dolomite. It's tremendous. Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. So shout out to Randy. Great list.
Nice. I got Nate Luthart from the Mothership Facebook group who's got Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop 2, another 48 Hours, and an unpopular opinion, Showtime. He says fight him. And he's also got honorable mention, Trading Places.
Okay, so back up one of those movies there. Read me this list again. I'm sorry. I'll stop you.
Beverly Hills Cop,
Nope.
48 Hours.
Another
Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, another
That's
48 hours.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the one. It was more like it came out years after the first one. For some reason, they made it again. But there's another scene on that where basically they're doing the prison scene again too, and he's singing on the bus, and he's like singing this James Brown, and he's like, "I gotta kiss myself, baby, 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 baby," you know. And then this guy just goes to shoot him. And the fucking bus flips over like a bunch of fucking times. It's ridiculous. It looks like something out of like a crazy action sequence. And I think that's the great thing about 48 Hours is that it's kind of like an action cop film, but also the comedy is just really good. Definitely see 48 Hours before you see another 48 Hours. I don't know about another 48 Hours. Like I liked it, but that's because I'm a Murphy mark. So.
Yeah. Now I'm going to bring you a couple lists from the Rockin' Randy's Rockin' Wrestling group. First up, we got Kevin Dignam. He's got Coming to America, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Shrek, and Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights. So let's talk about that for a minute. Harlem Nights. I remember my ex-wife told me she was worried about one of her teeth going rotten. And there's a scene in the beginning of Harlem Nights where there's this gap tooth guy where he's trying to roll dice and they're playing craps or something. And a little kid who's supposed to be young, Eddie Murphy, rolls in and he's like, "Get that fucking kid out of here. They're bad luck." And Richard Pryor owns the building. It's like, "Look, this is Ray's place." He's like, "So that's what the sign says. So he's staying. Don't worry about him. Roll the dice." And so he rolls the dice. He craps out. And he's like, "Ah, shit. I told you this kid bring me bad luck." And they're like, "Look, you snaggletooth motherfucker. All right. We won. We'd have paid you. But you did it. Now go home and brush that tooth." All right. And so I remember I sent that picture to my ex-wife. She fucking rolled for days. She actually wasn't even mad at me, although we did get divorced. Who knows? So, but anyway, then that scene too. Basically, the guy pulls a knife on Pryor, and Pryor's looking for the gun under the table, and he basically says, "Hold on, I got to tell you something," because he's trying to get the gun because he's got to pull it just to scare the guy. And then the guy has a knife to his shoulder. "What the fuck you want to tell me, man? We've grown again." And then he just gets shot in the head. So Eddie Murphy just shoots him in the head as a kid. And Pryor's just like, "Damn, I guess he did have bad luck with kids." So, it's a great scene. Della Reese is in the movie. She gets into a fight with Eddie Murphy when he gets older. And he ends up hitting her in the head with a garbage can lid after she beat the shit out of him. So he had to use a garbage can lid to kind of like knock her down. And basically, he thinks he's safe. And this is before The Undertaker, and Della Reese does a stand-up, and she's like, "Oh, you want to hit people over the head with garbage can lids. Now I got to cut you." And he ends up shooting her in her toe. It's fucking great. Check that movie out.
All right, now what list do you got for us?
I got Randy Oscar. It's my turn. All right, Randy Oscar, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, 48 Hours, Trading Places. And I don't think I've seen this movie, but I think it has Ben Stiller in it. Tower Heist.
Yes, it does. I was going to include it only because me and my dad tried watching it over the last couple of years that we had gone up to Maine, and I fell asleep during it both times. So, like, the second time I went to watch it with him, he's like, "Haven't we already seen this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know how it turns out yet." And that was almost like the new return. Yeah. That's almost like the new return to movies for Eddie Murphy after what seemed like a little bit of a layoff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Ben Stiller was a hot commodity at that time, I want to say, too, when that movie came out. Maybe it had been the tail end, but, like, he was still pretty relevant. So, but, yeah, like you, man, I don't remember really I don't think it was one of my favorite movies. Everything else on this list, though, I mean, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, Trading Places, that's all stuff that we all loved.
Now, how many more lists you got?
I got 3 and 2 partials, and myself.
Okay,
Want me to
so
read the partials?
Yeah, get the partials out of the way, then I'll do 2.
All right. Pete's got Nutty Professor, and that's it. He says 1, 2, 5. That's the best. Go fuck yourself. And then we got Zach St. John somewhere here. Hold on a second. He said, wasn't a huge Murphy guy, but I love Beverly Hills Cop movies. LOL. All right. So that's Zach. And then did I give you Mike Flynn? No, I didn't. I just did Randy, right? Before we finish. Yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, and myself. So you want to do another one?
Give us another one.
All right, let's go with Flynn. Admittedly, not the biggest Eddie Murphy fan, but Trading Places, Bowfinger, Coming to America, Shrek, Nutty Professor.
Now, next up, I got Harry Priest from the Mothership Facebook group. He's got Beverly Hills Cop 2, 48 Hours, another 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop 3, purely objective list, and then there were 3 crying emojis.
That's funny. I have to say, it's interesting.
Laughing, crying, not crying.
Yeah, I know. He's not going to kill himself or anything. Yeah, I got to say, it's funny how many people have like 48 Hours and, like some of these other movies. Like I thought for sure Coming to America, Trading Places would be on here. But it's interesting to see how many like people had Bowfinger and 48 Hours and some of these other movies. Like to me, Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places, and Coming to America are some of the quintessential like Murphy films.
Now, Michael Herrick has Coming to America, Trading Places, Life, The Distinguished Gentleman, Beverly Hills Cop.
Distinguished Gentleman's another good one. I'm going to go right into Scott from Voluntown, though. He's got The Golden Child, Coming to America, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, and 48 Hours. And also he had said, you back to doing comedy stuff? I'm like, yeah, you bet your ass, Voluntown. We back, baby.
We dropping in week after week. Now give me another one real quick.
Till I get tired. She tell me what to do. You bring your Bigfoot in my home. She wrecks my stairs. All right, she can't walk a flight of stairs. Tell that bitch she's not trained well. Climb the fuck out of a tree though, don't she? All right.
This is how much Dave loves Eddie Murphy. Like he's doing it all throughout this episode, but like when we're just sitting around joking before an episode, we could go back and forth on different bits. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times like take off my shoes and I just go, my shoe.
You bring a random person over. I'm like, goody goo goo. Get the fuck out of here.
I thought I was learning some new Spanish shit.
All right. I got Jake St. John here. You know him.
That ain't furniture. That's a piece of shit.
That's a piece of shit.
Not Zach St. John. That's the real ZSJ.
This is Jake St. John, baby. This is the big brother. We're going big brother.
Night Full of Diamonds available on Amazon. Get it.
That's right. Yeah. Not a piece of shit like on my coffee table. Every night I kick that dog in my head. I giggle my motherfucking head off. That's from the show, by the way. We're not kicking dogs on here. I don't even have a dog no more. Anyway. Died. Sorry. We got Jake's got Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, Shrek, Bowfinger, and he put in parentheses, fuck you, I enjoyed it. And the Golden Child. A lot
of other people, Jake.
Yeah, it turns out a lot of people do, Jake, so I hope you listen to this episode and you hear that out. And the Golden Child. That's it for me other than myself.
Now, next up, I'll give you 3 lists real quick and then we'll end on you. I got Mark R. Sandlin, who's got 48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Beverly Hills Cop 1, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Hell yeah. Motherfucker.
We got Anthony Sprott, who has Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places, 48 Hours, Raw, and Shrek. Yeah. And we're going to end my list anyways with the head of the Buzz Podcast Network, Archie Spagnolo. He has Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, Shrek, Daddy Daycare, and another 48 Hours. And that's all I got.
That's all right, man. I was hoping you had a Raw. We didn't even talk about Raw. I was actually talking about there's this part in Raw. Fuck you, I got a story. We were talking about the other night. I was with my girl and her kids, and they don't know what I'm quoting, but they were talking about something about you don't have something for a while, so you really enjoy it. And there's this great bit in Raw where Eddie's basically calling out women for like not, giving up that pussy to their man when they really like him. And they're like, if you like him, you should fuck him. Fuck you if you're not gonna fuck him. Don't make him wait. Why are you making him wait? And then fellas, they suddenly with him. They're like, you ever see some guy He's a pretty good looking guy, and he's like with like a so-so girl, and how the hell that happened? And he's like, yeah, how the hell that happened? It's like because she made him wait, and then when he finally had sex with her, it was like the best pussy he ever had. No, it's not that great. You just waited so long. It'd be like if somebody threw you a cracker in prison and you were starving, you had 8 days. You're like, God damn, that's a good cracker. What's that? A Ritz? That ain't no ordinary cracker. That's some gourmet shit.
Now, what part of this did you quote to the kids?
Just the cracker. And I left the word shit out
there for a second.
Yeah. So, not knowing we could include Raw and Delirious, here was my list. I got 48 Hours, Trading Places, Dolomite Is My Name, Coming to America, Life, and Jake Rule, Harlem Nights.
Damn.
That's how we close out the show, baby. Now we got to pick a list. We were all fucking crazy. So I'm going to say I remember 48 Hours, Coming to America, and fuck, it's either Trading Places or Beverly Hills Cop, but fuck you. It's my favorite episode. I'm going with fucking Trading Places. Banana and the Tailpipe still rules, though.
Now, which of these do you see going first?
All right. Unlike I'm a traditional. I'm going to break tradition a little bit. I'm going to kick out 48 Hours because even though it was a film that launched him, I think the other two were bigger movies for him. All right. Yeah. And I think Trading Places is great. I love it. But at the end of the day, I think Coming to America was just like his biggest film. And I think it's the one that really kind of launched his career even more. And everybody was just so excited when they were finally coming out with a sequel decades later.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, 48 Hours was his first movie. Definitely a hit. But
yeah.
Coming to America, I mean, you talk about it all the time. Just last year or earlier this year when the sequel got released, people went nuts for that new movie. And guys, you know what the music means. We got our top one. Remember to check in next week for top comedic cameos in movies. The 19th, we got Leslie Nielsen movies. And on the 26th, hilariously bad horror movies. Guys,
suck my dick.
We will talk.